and it's true, and it's you, and it's you. You are the one for me. No one else could make that better, baby. And I'm the one for you. No one else could play that better. You make my dreams come true. You are the girl. So I owe it all to you. To you. No one else could play the part, baby, baby. Oh, baby. I sacrifice everything for you, for you. Lay everything on the table, baby, baby. You are the love of my life, girl. I must say you got my heart from the very first time. The very first time. How could this be? Am I dreaming? Cause you never broke my heart. With this loving that we feeling, we could never be apart, girl. You are the one for me.
Sonic Tazi, Love is True. We'll play this one after the evening announcements. Thank you, Sonic, for taking us to 6 o'clock right here on DBS Radio.
It's always a better choice. My one and only station.
DBS Radio. Fair and balanced, unbiased and clear, concise and accurate. This is the DBS Evening News. Here now is your presenter with the headlines.
In the headlines, 2 former prime ministers to be bestowed with Dominica's highest national award. In news from the region, U.S. warns of sanctions against the Caribbean countries that vote for IMO's net zero shipping framework. And internationally, Israel hostages and Palestine detainees freed as U.S. President Donald Trump hails historic dawn in Middle East. Good evening, I am Leila Langford. Details of the news when I return.
Yo, what's up?
Baby, let's go!
Turn your TV on. Listen to DBS on Digital TV Channel 50 and Flow TV Channel 951.
DBS News.
Welcome back and welcome to the listeners of Acoustic Worship Radio. Making the headline this evening, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit will on Tuesday move a motion in the Parliament seeking approval to confer the Dominica Award of Honor, the country's highest national award, on the late Prime Ministers Roosevelt, Rosie Douglas and Pierre Charles. The motion recognizes the extraordinary national service and the leadership of both former prime ministers whose contributions advanced Dominica's development and who inspired citizens through their dedication to social justice, education, and community upliftment. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit said ahead of tomorrow's sitting that Rosie Douglas and Pierre Charles led Dominica with vision and courage. Mr. Skerrit added that this is a moment for the nation to honor 2 leaders who gave their all to our people, and their example continues to inspire our spirit of resilience and our collective pursuit of a stronger, more united Dominica. The honors will be conferred posthumously during the official 47th anniversary of independence observance ceremony on November 3rd. Roosevelt Rosie Douglas assumed office as Prime Minister of Dominica in February 2000 and served until his untimely passing on October 1st, 2000. Following his death, Pierre Charles succeeded him as Prime Minister on October 3rd, 2000, until his passing on January 6, 2004. In other news, this evening, an amendment to the Money Laundering Prevention Act is to be taken to Parliament on Tuesday, October 14. An amendment to the Suppression of Financing of Terrorism is also down for debate. Government will also introduce a bill which deals with an agreement to establish the Eastern Caribbean Citizenship by Investment Regulatory Authority.
A bill for an act to provide for the implementation of the agreement establishing the Eastern Caribbean Citizenship by Investment Regulatory Authority. and for matters connected there will be introduced and taken through all three readings by the Honourable Prime Minister. A bill for an act to provide for the amendment of the Suppression of the Financing of Terrorism Act, Chapter 7304 of the Laws of Dominica, and a bill for an act to provide for amendment of the Financial Services Unit Act, Chapter 6303 of the Laws of Dominica, will be introduced and taken through all three readings by the Honourable Minister for Finance. The Honourable Minister for National Security and Legal Affairs is listed to introduce a bill for an act to provide for the amendment of the Money Laundering Prevention Act, Chapter 7303, and to take that bill through all three readings.
Attorney General Levi Peter. Meantime, Parliament will approve the establishment of a sperm whale reserve in Dominica.
Additionally, the Minister for Agriculture is on the order paper to take the bill or a bill for an act to establish a sperm whale reserve in the Commonwealth of Dominica and to make provisions for the management of the reserve and other matters related thereto through the second and third readings of that bill. Listeners will perhaps recall that the first reading of that bill was taken earlier in the year. So those are the 5 bills that are listed to be tabled and debated at this meeting of Parliament. The bill for establishing the Eastern Caribbean Citizenship by Investment Regulatory Authority is the bill that the Prime Minister referred to in previous communications, and I think most recently at the last press conference that he held. In short, that bill is a bill which is part of the system of arrangements that has been put in place by the 5 countries in UACS that have citizenship by investment programs.
Attorney General Levi Peter. The third meeting of the third session of the 11th Parliament begins at 10 a.m. on Tuesday and will be broadcast live on all frequencies and social media platforms of DBS Radio. Dominica's Chief Election Officer, Anthea Joseph, has assured Dominicans that the team is ready to begin the voters' confirmation process on Wednesday. A total of 48 centers have been identified across the island as confirmation offices to facilitate the process. Joseph was speaking during a special interview on DBS Radio this morning.
We are 99.9%. Well, we are trying our best to ensure that everything is okay. The important thing is we have the software installed on the computers and the computers are at the centers. We have just a few more centers to place computers today. We have enrollment officers. They have been contracted. They have had training. The last training is today. We have the last group of persons being trained today. So we have that in place. We have security systems at all the confirmation centers that have already been installed. As late as last night, signs were being placed on the centers. Number of places have signs, written confirmation centers. So we are working round the clock and we are ready to go on the 15th of October. We are working this Wednesday from 9:30 to 5:30, Thursday, Friday, same time, on Saturday from 9 to 3 p.m. The following week, we work Monday and Tuesday, 9:30 to 5:30. Wednesday is off. Thursday and Friday, 9:30 to 5:30. And on a Saturday, 9 to 3 p.m.
Dominica's Chief Election Officer, Anthea Joseph. The Chief Election Officer explained the details of the voter confirmation process.
So once you have been identified on the list that you are registered, then you are given an application form. You fill out that form. I have your witness sign the form as well. Also, the enrollment officer check to see if you have all your documents. They're in order, they are valid, they match your name. Then you proceed to the data entry person who is also an enrollment but an assistant enrollment officer who will enter your information on the computer. There are 2 screens. one for the data entry person and one for the voter. So you can see everything that's been entered. So you clarify that the information is correct. Then your IDs are scanned, your picture is taken while you sit, and everything is saved. Then the enrollment officer will present you with a receipt. The copy of the form that you signed, that's the one that you had to do manually. It's kept by the center for our records. And we will use that, and copies of the IDs also will be taken, and photocopies of the IDs will be taken, where we will use that to do our verification at the office. There's a whole verification that will take place, actually 2 lines of verification when the documents come in. So we're going to use the hard copies and the information that's on the system to verify. And then it will be passed on to the verification department, where the verification will be done. Also, persons who are dead cannot present themselves at the confirmation centers either, where your name will be removed from the list at the end of the period.
Dominica's Chief Election Officer, Anthea Joseph. A new president for the Dominica Calypso Association will be selected tomorrow. Other top positions for the Dominica Calypso Association will also be announced on Tuesday. This follows the election of a new executive over the weekend. Daddy Chess, Caressa, Peter Leta, Bingo, Oracle, Royet, Trinada, and Mystery were elected at the weekend. They will join Joey Lloyd, who is the only other member from the last executive eligible to remain on the executive. The elections became necessary after the term of Davison D. Observer Victor-led executive came to an end. The Calypso eliminations are set for December 2025. Over 70 local entrepreneurs will be featured at the National Development Foundation of Dominica, NDFD Creole in the Streets, set for Friday, October 17th. Business support specialist at NDFD, Damian Dumas, says Creole in the Streets has grown into Dominica's largest trade show.
Every year, as the rhythm of drums, the colors of Madras, and the aroma of Creole cuisine fill the air, Creole in the Streets transforms the heart of Roseau into a living, breathing showcase of Dominican creativity and enterprise. And this year, it promises to be bigger, brighter, and even more impactful than ever. On Friday, October 17th from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., Great Marlborough Street will come alive with over 70 registered vendors, each one representing not just a business, but a story of hard work, resilience, and national pride. From flavorful Dominican dishes to handcrafted jewelry, fashion, natural products, and home decor, every booth will tell a story of local talent and entrepreneurship. And I'm especially proud to say that Creole in the Streets has grown into Dominica's biggest trade show, consistently attracting thousands of patrons each year and giving small business owners a powerful platform to shine. But beyond the celebration, there's a deeper purpose. Creole in the Streets has become a pivotal part of our independence calendar. Not just a day of cultural pride, but as a day of economic empowerment. It gives visibility to micro and small enterprises, helps them generate income, build loyal customers, and gain exposure to larger markets.
NDFD Business Support Specialist Damian Dumas. Dominican artist Ophelia Marie is elated to be back on the World Creole Music Festival stage. Ophelia is back after a 6-year absence. She told Gavin Richards this afternoon that she intends to roll back the years.
Well, it is an honor, largely in the sense that I haven't been on for like 6 years. So it's my turn. It's one of my turns. And I will give it my best, as I usually do. I will dress pretty. My eyes will be open. And I will really, I promise you, do my best. People will know it's me.
I remember the last time that you were on.
Yes.
I mean, you stole the show, Ophelia, that night there, like you said, 6 years ago. So,
yeah.
What really kind of fans anticipate from you this time around?
Well, as I said, they'll know it's me. I have to sing I Dominique. If I don't, they will wonder. So there will be some old and some new. And as I said, I will give it my best shot.
All right, give it your best shot. Ophelia, you've been in the business for so long. I mean,
plenty years.
Years upon years. I don't even want to try to say how many years, but it's been
That's
so
all
long.
right.
But
yes.
you know, in terms of the memories that you've had, especially as it relates to the World Korean Music Festival, because that's the focus here this afternoon.
The first time that was going to be set on Dominica in 1997, I was working at the NDC, so in the middle of the heart of the organizing, and I was also Deputy Director of Tourism with responsibility for pushing Dominica in the Caribbean. So that came right into my lap, and then you cannot have a music festival in Dominica and Ophelia is not in it. I said I have to be in that. I didn't care how I got into it. I said I know I have to be in it because, I mean, there is at least one lady who had joined the music industry at the time from Dominica before me, but I was a name.
Ophelia Marie. Meantime, your boss, Asa Banton, is excited about this year's festival. Asa is to perform on the second night of the event.
Night number 2 is one of the biggest nights, in the 3 nights. As I always say, expect the unexpected. People know with Asa Banton, it's all about energy, it's all about vibes. Just expect something you might not be expecting.
Because every year you find a way to top yourself. It's either you're coming in a coffin, you're coming from the sky, you're coming on a horse, you're coming in a limousine.
Anything can happen. Anything can happen. This year festival, trust me, it's one of the biggest, 25 years. I mean, I'm on the Saturday night. World Boss on the Saturday night. But the Your Boss in Dominica, home on the Saturday night. So World Boss better come and perform because depends what happened. After Asa perform, I will forget World Boss was performing on the Saturday night. You understand?
Yeah. But Asa, you always bring the house down on the festival, and your fans will always stay for you. Definitely. Be it lightning, rain, sun, hurricane, snow, whatever it is. Your fans will always be there to represent for you. So Asa, we're looking forward, to another big performance from you.
Oh yes.
Asa also released something new with King Dice. And on this note, that's the national focus, regional and international developments up next.
Yo, what's up? Baby, let's go! Turn your TV on. Listen to DBS on Digital TV Channel 50 and Flow TV Channel 951.
DBS News.
In news from the region, the United States has issued a warning to countries, including those in the Caribbean, that plan to vote later this month in support of measures being pushed by the International Maritime Organization for a net zero shipping framework aimed at reducing emissions in the maritime sector. The measure, which was approved in April 2025, is set for adoption in October 2025 during the Maritime Environmental Protection Committee meeting that takes place until October 17. IMO officials say 108 members are eligible to vote, including 10 from CARICOM, and if adopted, it will come into effect in 2028. And internationally, there have been celebrations across Israel and Palestine territories as a major hostage and prisoner exchange today marked a significant step towards ending 2 years of war in Gaza. In a crucial first phase of the U.S. broker plan to end the war, Hamas returned all living Israel hostages, while Israel freed almost 2,000 Palestine prisoners and detainees. There were emotional scenes as the families of the Israel hostages screamed and cried with happiness as they embraced their freed loved ones. That's news at the DBS Evening Sports Report. Up next with Gavin Richards.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Well, good evening. I'm Gavin Richards with the DBS Evening Sports Report. And, of course, we're bold enough with cricket news because a century for Shea Hope and a maiden century for John Campbell as the West Indies showed some fight in the second test against India this morning. But despite their efforts, it's still India on the verge of a win in that second match. Well, the West Indies put up their best batting display on the tour, and they've even managed to send India back to bat again. But India, however, did just 58 more runs to win on the fifth and final day. Let's recap the match scores so far. India declared on 518 for 5 batting first. We had Jaiswal getting 175 and Shubman Gill 129 not out. Sur Hassan 87. Jomal Warrican was the pick of the bowlers for the West Indies, taking 3 for 98. The West Indies, in reply, 248 all out, with Alec Athanaze top scoring with 41, Shea Hope 36, and Tejnarayan Chandapal 34. Kuldeep Yadav, well, he really pegged the West Indies back, taking 5 for 82. The West Indies asked to follow on. Well, they were bowled out for 390 this morning. John Campbell got his maiden test century, 115. Shea Hope, 103. And Roston Chase, 40. Jasprit Bumrah, he took 3 for 44. And Yadav, 3 for 104. So India set just a modest target of 121 to win. They reached 63 for 1 at stumps on day 4. So the Indians still requiring some 58 more runs for victory. Here now is the West Indies second innings centurion, John Campbell, who says that he's happy to have finally gotten that maiden century.
Well, I can't really put it into words right now. I mean, maybe tomorrow I'll be able to describe it.
And yet it was a hard-fought innings, wasn't it? Did you believe when Shea Hope came to join you at 35 for 2 that we'd still be here today with some runs still to get?
We always spoke about it being a good batting track. We just needed to get start. When as batsmen, as they get start on this pitch, it tends to be easier.
And you had a reputation of someone who goes for his shot, so it was a very different kind of innings from you. Tell us about the different phases where to keep your concentration levels up, keep it going.
I think I still went for my shots. It was just about being more selective. I thought that my selection process was a little bit better and clearer in this inning.
You like the sweep shot by the looks of it. We're showing some of your shots. There's a lot of sweep shots in there too.
Well, yeah, I've always loved to play the sweep shot, and thankfully this inning was successful for me.
And that's the West Indies second innings centurion, John Campbell. So let's recap the scores as we head into the fifth and final day. It's India 518 for 5 declared and 63 for 1. The West Indies 248 and 390. India, they need 58 more runs to win. Of course, play will begin at midnight tonight. Caribbean time. Let's stay with cricket news because Gary Daniel hit an unbeaten century to pilot the Nagico Northern Stars to a win over the Penville Gladiators as the Central Cooperative Credit Union Dominica Cricket Association's Intermediate League continued on the weekend at the Benjamins Park. Well, the game was reduced to 20 overs aside due to rain. And, of course, Gary Daniel got 117 not out of just 68 balls with 4 fours and 12 sixes as he powered the Nagico Northern Stars to a total of 181 for 3 in 20 overs. Clement Masley picked up 1 for 18 and Clemenson Libla also took 1 for 39 for the Gladiators. While the Penville side, chasing 182 in 20 overs, they got to 163 for 6, with Fabian Etienne making 7, or that should be 40, and Clemenson Libla adding 34. We had Romain taking 3 for 38 for the Northern Stars, so Northern Stars winning that game by 18 runs. We're staying with cricket news because Noman Ali picked up 4 wickets to put Pakistan in a strong position after 2 days of play in the first test against South Africa in Pakistan. Pakistan made 378 in their first innings, batting first. Iman ul Haq got 93, Salman Agha added 93 as well, and Shan Masood got 76, with Mohammad Rizwan getting 75. The South African spinner, Sinuran Musami, he picked up 6 for 117. South Africa, in their turn, they reached 216 for 6 at stumps on day 2, with Tony Desorzi ending the day not out on 81, and Ryan Rickleton getting 71 earlier on. Well, Noman Ali has 4 for 85 for the Pakistan team. The scores as we head into day 3 is Pakistan 378 and South Africa 216 for 6. South Africa, they're trailing by 162 runs. Let's move to football news now. The defending President's Cup champion Central Cooperative Credit Union Dubla FC are into the semi-finals of that competition as they put 9 goals past DSFC as the President's Cup continued yesterday at the DFA Technical Center. Odell Laville registered a hat-trick. Shikel St. Marie also scored twice, with Travis Joseph and Coben Paul getting a goal each as Dubla raced to the 9-2 win. In the other quarter-final match yesterday, we saw Valvoline Way United beating the Belfast Estate Mao Soccer Strikers to punch a ticket into the semi-finals. Way United took that match 4-1. Roosevelt Coppel, Lennon Banis, Alison Gasper and Jarek Parker scored a goal each for Way United. Taquante Woodman got the lone goal for the Mahu team. In some other results from the weekend, Surgical Southeast came from 2 goals down to beat Petro Caribbean Point Michel to advance for the semi-finals. Daniel Jupini and Kyle Del Sol, well, they'll put Point Michel 2-0 up in the first 5 minutes of the game, but Southeast held their composure and got 3 unanswered goals to take the match 3-2. Javid Jols, well, he scored twice. Adriel Lawrence also got onto the score sheet for the Southeast team. And here now is the Southeast captain, or that's be the Southeast head coach, Kimon Coffey.
Well, basically, we started off slow, 2 silly mistakes and they scored, but we always have that thing in us. We push and eventually we got the winning goal, and that was good.
You push and you push, but, what was the message to the guys? Because 2 goals down very early in the game, that was a very hard blow to deal with.
Yes, well, the thing is, it was just a mistake, and what we said is just push. It's continue pushing, continue working hard. The goals are always there. It's just time and patience, and that was it.
Javid George was really exceptional tonight. His pace really terrorized the Port Michel team. Quick word on Javid.
Well, Javid is always that player. We welcome him back, and I don't know what else to say. He's just an extraordinary player.
All right, what can you take from this win now as you move on to the next round?
Well, the determination, the fight we had in the second half, that's what we're going to do in the next.
And that's the Surgical Southeast head coach, Kimon Coffey. In another quarter-final match on the weekend, we saw Anton Larocque getting a hat-trick as the Roosevelt Scarlet Bombers defeated Connect 767 Quartz Ready Cash East Central 5-3. We also had Davon George and Usher George getting a goal each for the Bombers, while Randolph Peltier scored twice and Nathan Newton added another goal for the East Central team. Here now is the Roosevelt Scarlet Bombers head coach, Oris Mills.
We are pleased with the result tonight. Honestly, it wasn't our best performance. It had a lot of back and forth in the game. So at least one of the positives that we showed great character, even though we went a goal down, that we were able to fight back, even if they pegged us back again, but we were able to push on.
How much of this performance do you take to rust, having not played competitive football in a while?
A lot of it, I think, is down to rust. And unfortunately, we were not able to get a friendly match even before the start of the competition. So the players are just getting back their legs now. You could see that a lot with the touches on the ball.
All right, looking ahead to the semi-finals, how confident are you guys?
At this point, we're just happy that we have advanced. We have done the job in front of us, but we'll have to do a lot of work on the training ground so that we get stronger as the tournament goes on.
And that's Roosevelt's Carrot Bombers head coach, Horace Mills. And let's stick with football because the former DFA Premier League team, Buffett State FC, well, they're just 2 games away from a return to the Premier League as they crushed Northside FC in the Division 1 quarterfinals on the weekend. We had Buffett State advancing with a 7-1 win over Northside at the Almond Park in Dubla on Saturday. Eustace Marshall and Montel James, they scored 2 goals each. Anthony Frederick, Giovanni De Gallery, and Kelrick Walter also scored for the Buffett State team. In the other quarterfinal match, we saw St. Joseph FC getting the better of Kalibishi FC last evening at the Almond Park in Dubla. Quarterfinal action will continue tomorrow. Of course, we have games as well on Wednesday. And that's the DFA quarterfinal as the 2 remaining semi-final spots will be filled by the end of this week. And we'll end with some domino news. Brutal Forces and Brigady Stars, well, they're among the winners as the Julius Timothy Independence Domino League continued on the weekend. Here now is the league coordinator, Delvin Esprit.
What an exciting last weekend it was in the Julius Timothy Islandwide Domino League as a number of close matches were played. Wake Up Stars from Portsmouth got the better of Ferguson Woodford. Final scores, Wake Up Stars 3,027, Focus 2,752. BS Stars from Anzimi 3,017, West Coast Credit Union Jerry Adrian Valiance 2,474. White City from Grand Fork 3,025, Itasi Stars 2,684. Non-players from Cassibus 3,013, Marcy Square 2,660. Roadblock from Thibault 3,017, Roadside 2,267. Brutal Forces from Grand Bay continue to do well with victory over Baghdad. Final scores, Brutal Forces 3,036, Baghdad 2,155. Brigade Stars from Peebush also in good form, destroying NATO Full Effects. Final scores, Brigade Stars 3,004, NATO Full Effects 1,776, and Warriors from Marigot got the better of Badside in a tight match. Final scores, Warriors 3,007, Badside 2,789. Delvin Esprit reporting.
And that's the league coordinator, Delvin Esprit, taking us to the end of the DBS Evening Sports Report. More sporting highlights for you tomorrow morning. Of course, a quick reminder, the 5th and final day of the second test between India and the West Indies that gets underway at 12 o'clock midnight tonight. India needs just 58 runs. Well, maybe the West Indies can just pull off another miracle. You'll have to tune in at 12 to find out. Well, you heard the news with Leila Langford. I brought you the sports. On behalf of the entire news and sports department, our links person, DJ Halo Boy, Gavin Richards saying good evening.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
DBS Radio gives you top quality service over any other for live streaming of funerals. Call us today at 448-3282.
Welcome to this evening's edition of the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. It's the 13th day of October 2025. We begin with this evening's edition of the DBS Radio Deaf Announcements on the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. We announce the death of Clement Telemark, better known as Kanman or Ronald, age 59, of Marigot. He died on Sunday, the 5th of October, at his residence. A memorial service for the late Clement Telemark, better known as Kanman or Ronald of Marigot, will be held on Tuesday, the 14th of October, at the Northeastern Funeral Association Chapel at Wesley from 1 p.m. and will be followed by the scattering of his ashes at Melville Hall, Seawall. We announce the death of Jacob Nicholas, better known as Oscar or Bob of Scott's Head, age 72. He died on Thursday, the 18th of September 2025 in Scott's Head. He will be remembered by his sister Judith Nicholas, his niece Eldora Matthew Nicholas, his grandnephews and grandnieces Vince, Kitana and Kayana, and his great-grandnieces